What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 2 of In Before the Lock. Hopefully, sans technical difficulties this time. Davey, what's up?
Hey man, how's it going? Good to see you, Rob.
I'm doing good. I'm excited. We've got some fun stuff for today planned.
We made it to episode 2.
We made it.
Yeah.
We are.
Who'd have thunk it? Yeah.
So we're on YouTube and Twitch, and I think the Twitch stream is going to save this time. I'm watching the Twitch stream, and it is live. Thank you for those of you who stuck with us last time. We went down for a little bit, but I got it up here on the screen, and it looks like it's going good. All right.
Yeah.
So we got some great feedback from the episode 1. Thank you to everybody who gave us a shout out there. And we got some fun stuff to plan for today. So let's talk about the agenda. All right. So Davey, you've got some story time for me, allegedly, right?
Yeah, I got a little story to tell. Kind of leading on from the expo stuff that we covered last week. Not really pinball related, but it was a funny story that I thought I'd share. What's after that?
So we've got Mod That Game. We're going to take some ideas from the audience on what games you'd like to have modded. So basically, for now and about the next 10 minutes, in the Twitch chat, if you guys have any games that you'd like to see us talk about what to do with the mod, and we'll send out some reminders to you as well. We're going to basically come up with some ideas right here live on the show.
So currently, we'd already taken a couple of suggestions from the last show. So far we've got Fishtales, Dr. Dude, and Dracula as the games. Oh, we've already got one, Stranger Things. All right, Stranger Things. So as they come up, I'm just going to stick them straight onto my list of games. Hopefully we won't get too many because otherwise I won't be able to concentrate. We'll just be putting too many on at the same time. But anyway, I'm going to stick them on the wheel, and then over the course of the next 10 minutes or whatever, we'll collate those games, and then as we switch into that segment, we'll hopefully have a good chunk of games to spin and to focus on one.
Yeah, looking forward to that. After that, we're going to talk about just some mods that we're seeing in the community. So our now regular segment, it's a mod world. We're going to talk about some of the stuff we're seeing and what we think about that. And probably that'll put us about 40 or 50 minutes in. And we'll let you guys know what we're thinking for the next show. So, So Davey, I'm excited because you wouldn't actually tell me. And I got this little, Uncle Davey thing because that's just weird. But I'm gonna let you tell me the story, and I'll try not to talk. So at Expo, we both did seminars, didn't we? At Expo this year. Yep.
Have you ever done a seminar before, Rob? Before that one, or
not in the pinball space. I've done lots of panels too. That was actually the first one that wasn't panel format. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it was a great experience. Rob Burke asked us both to do seminars. I was a little bit scared, but it was a great experience. But one of the interesting things that happened was that, and you didn't get one of these, but I got one of these, was that Rob presented us with these. I hope because hang on, let me see if I can. Look, got presented with these cards, right? And they're kind of like superstars of 2023 video game and pinball trading cards. And the idea of them was that you were going to be, you're going to do signatures and hand them out to people. And I did a little bit of that, but the interesting thing about it, that photo of me, right, looks a bit weird, right? And that's because, come on, zoom in for
Come back.
Camera. All right, I'll just put it
There we go.
There we go. I'll just put it close to my nose. So the reason why that looks weird is because Rob asked me to submit a promo picture of myself. And I didn't have anything to hand, so I just took like a lame picture of myself and then AI'd it. Just for convenience, and it was quick and stuff. But the end result was like this uncanny sort of photo that kind of looks like me, but doesn't quite look like me. So anyway, when I thought it was just going to go with like a little flyer, but as it turns out, I got a whole stack of these.
Oh yeah,
100 of these guys. So anyway, I was like, oh, that's lovely, and very kind thing to do, and. So I thought, the kids are going to love them. So I took them home, showed them to the kids. Ivy loved them. My daughter, she's 8 years old, and she's like, Dad, can I take them to school to show my teacher? And I was like, yeah, what could possibly be wrong with that? Sure, you can, Ivy. So anyway, I go down to the school the other afternoon for pickup, and Ivy starts walking towards me, and I'm looking around, and suddenly I see like there's all these kids in the playground, like holding holding my card,
No.
right?
No.
Yeah, holding my
Did
card.
you know
I'm
she
like,
took them?
I knew that she took them there, but I didn't. I thought she was going to show the teacher and say, "Oh, my dad did this," or whatever. I didn't know that she. So I was like, Ivy. I was like, why have all the kids got my card? And she's like, oh, Dad, I'm sorry. I was showing the teacher, and then all the kids started crowding around and asking for one. So I'm handing them out. There's kids coming up saying, can I grab 3 for my sisters as well? Right. And I'm looking around, and there's all these parents kind of looking at the card, and they're looking at me with this like horrified expression. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm
Man.
this random dad who's been handing out action cards of himself to their kids. Yeah. So anyway, that was
I was
something
sad I didn't get those, but now I'm maybe changing my mind.
yeah. It'll lead you down. Like it's one of those stupid things, isn't it? You know, like just making a decision to create an AI picture of yourself or whatever. You think it's just like a throwaway thing, and then it snowballs into this. This thing. But anyway, yeah, that's my Uncle Davey story for this week. Maybe we'll turn it into like a segment where I just tell random stories about my life.
I love it. I love it. What do I got to do to get my hands on one of those cards?
Oh man, you can have the whole pack. They're yours.
All right, sweet.
I'll
I'll make it real weird, and my kids will hand them out, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
So for those of you who join us, we got a cool segment coming up called Mod That Game. I think we're gonna just dive into it now. Are we ready? You got some stuff going in?
Let's
do
cool.
It.
Let's do it. So we got a couple. Look, here's my exciting wheel. I call it the wheel of games. Yeah. Okay. So these are the ones we got at the moment. We got Fishtales, Doctor Dude, Dracula, Stranger Things, and Labyrinth.
Dr. Dude, yes.
Yeah. Should we have a little... Can you sing a song while I spin the wheel? It's gonna Fishtales! Oh, man!
Yes.
Fishtales! Fishtales.
Oh, man.
Can you hit the applause, everybody?
Yes,
Isn't that great? I love these guys who produce these things on the web. I love it. Okay, so, right. Okay, now, so the idea is that we're going to pull up Fishtales. I'm going to take a look at it, try and find some pictures of the play field. So open. I'm going to have to open it in this one, I know, because otherwise it won't share properly. Okay, so I wonder if I can zoom.
Have you ever had this game?
I have had this game, yeah. I picked up a really ultra cheap one for about 300 quid, and it was completely trashed. And this was kind of before I was sort of doing hardcore modding and stuff, so I still had time to do refurbs and stuff. So this is the second game that I refurbed, and I got a brand new playfield from over in Hungary. Peter over in Hungary, a good friend of mine, sent over a playfield that they'd done, beautiful playfield, and just you did an amazing refurb job on it. I'd sort of chromed up different bits and stuff. I wish I had pictures handy. It'd probably be a bit difficult to find them now, but yeah, I have had this game. It's a great game, brutal game. Have you played it much, Rob?
Yeah, I have. It is brutal. I do love it though, because it's kind of straightforward in terms of what you need to do. But it can be a kick in the quid.
Yeah, that is a good way of describing it. It is definitely a kick in the quids.
So what are we doing here? Are we coming up with like mods on the fly? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, coming out with mods on the fly. So what aspects of this? Okay, so for me, well, I mean, this is actually quite fortuitous because there's always been one thing that I thought could really do with a mod on this game, and that is the this section here, which is the Fisherman Hut or whatever it is. I can't even remember what it's called now.
Did you zoom in on something? I don't know if it's coming through.
Yeah, no, because let me see if I can open up my.
Okay.
Here we go. Sorry, yeah. So it's opened up a new tab. I'll see if I can. That's a VPin version. Um, so the Casters Club. That's the one that I'm. It's always opening new tabs for me in there. See, this is if we were a bit more organised with how this is going to work, then it might be a bit easier. Can you see?
Can you like command plus it, control plus it?
Yeah, maybe.
Ooh, $5,800.
Yeah, bargain. Yeah.
Bargain.
Okay.
Yeah. How much is 300 quid?
It's like $600.
Ooh, wow.
So,
You don't still have it,
it was. No, I sold it, man. Yeah, it was one of those ones where like, I was sort of into the refurb, and then I had the game, and then I think I needed to clear space really quickly and raise funds for other stuff, and so it just made sense to sort of sell it on really quick. So I didn't even have it that long after I refurbed it, and I did find it a bit hard, to be honest. And it's one of those ones that I loved playing when I was living in Sydney. You know, going to the pubs and the repeatable ramps off the boat. You know, I really love sort of shooting those, but it was a little bit like Theatre of Magic in the sense that sort of once I had it again, I don't know, the magic had sort of worn off a little bit. You know, I do know people who, you know, have it here and like absolutely love it. You know, one of their all-time favourite games. But yeah, I sort of wasn't feeling it a bit and sort of, you know, needed to make space, so got rid of it. But yeah, so the Casters Club, right? That is a piece of folded sheet metal with decals over the top of it. But I always thought that, you know, you could really easily replace that with something that was a bit more like a log cabin. But the issue that I've always had with it, with like a log cabin type of setup, is, you know, how do I LED that? You know, because obviously LEDs is my thing. You know, putting sort of neon and LEDs into a log cabin doesn't quite work. So I haven't quite worked out how to reconcile that yet. Yeah.
I mean, you could always catch it on fire with some fire LEDs.
Yeah, cool. An on fire log cabin. While the dude's fishing. Yeah. So yeah, that was one idea I had. The other thing that stands out to me is the sign here. You know, doing something sort of a bit more fun with like a meter on the left here. You know, that wasn't just sort of 5 LEDs, but was like an actual animated meter. Could be quite cool as well. What about you, man? What are you seeing here?
I mean, I kind of wonder what's out there already. I don't know too much about the mods for this game, but you know, I think a real obvious one would be putting in like a real fishing pole. And it would be cool to light that too, like maybe something to where a certain mode like shoots a light up the side. So that could be really cool, and I'm sure some people have done that. Also, one of my favorite.
I've not seen anything, but
no. I mean, this game obviously, if this would have come out in modern days, we would see all sorts of fun stuff for it. It obviously was pre mod world for the most part.
Yeah.
But
I mean, heaps of them made though. I think it's quite a big title in terms of how many of them there are out there. And climbing the charts in terms of, I think it's always been sort of like a low tier game, but I get the feeling that's changed a bit over the last couple of years. You know, games like this and World Cup Soccer are both sort of, you know, quite sought after these days. Whereas they were never sort of seen as that in the past. So yeah, who knows? Maybe there would be some opportunity here.
One of my favorite moments of the game is when the fish is stretching, like stretching the size of it. Like I wonder if there's something that could be done there. As far as like even like a video display or something, it'd be fun if like there was just that graphic whenever you saw it would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know, you just reminded me. Actually, there is a mod out there for this already. The only one that I can actually remember, which is the monster fish. So you know how there's like a mode. I think it's shooting this left loop here, and you shoot it enough times, I think you get the monster fish or whatever. And the monster fish is like this huge sort of humanoid fish that breathes fire. You know, of course, because it's pinball. But yeah, I think somebody had created a monster fish figurine and obviously put LEDs in the eyes because that's what you do when you make ones.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And I know toppers are on the table for these games we're talking about, but I think this one's good. I think it's quite the cool topper.
I think you would face some pretty stiff pinside threats if you tried to retop a Fishtales. It's probably one of the most, if not the most, classic topper of all time.
Totally.
And this time it actually deserves the accolades too. I know Whitewater is one of those games that you essentially, if you don't have the topper on that game, people don't want to buy it. But in terms of, actually a fun, interesting, amazing topper that suits the game to a T, I would have to say Fishtales takes it out in terms of WPC games.
When we did this same kind of concept in our panel, we talked a lot about Addams Family actually, which is like a similar situation. But I think the difference with Addams Family is what if you could make it way better, in terms of kind of keep it similar. So that could be one that has a potential. But yeah, this one I wouldn't touch for sure.
No,
should we switch it up, or do you have any other ones?
No, man. That's it for that segment. Mod that game. It's done.
Oh wait, we're only doing one?
Oh, well, we could do more. Do you want to do another one?
Well, I thought we were doing a couple, so let's do one more. Spin that wheel.
All right, sure. Yeah, we might be going through our segments too quickly. If we, where's my wheel again? Got to get back to the wheel, man. All right, hold on. Come on, wheel. Okay.
Keep clicking back.
Yeah, I'm trying. Wait a sec. You talk about something quickly while I quickly
story time.
Story time. There. Yeah.
Yep.
Go back to Uncle Rob's story.
Someone's bringing up the Hell House School mod. Maybe this is for our next segment. We could talk about this. Did you do this one, or is this somebody else?
That is. Oh God. So the Hell House Scoop mod is done by a friend of mine. That's one of John's J85M's.
Okay.
So that's a great. I mean, he's doing more of them now. It's essentially sort of using one of the lolly boards in Deadpool, but making a Hell House sign. So the Hell House pub, hotel, or whatever is a sort of a location that's quite iconic in the Deadpool sort of lore, I suppose. I'm not a massive, I'm not massively knowledgeable on Deadpool, but Hell House is sort of tied up with that whole storyline. So John did a Hell House sign that had shurikens sticking out of it and Wolverine claw marks and stuff, and then it's all powered by a lollyboard, so it does different animations when you qualify for the different characters on the backboard. It's a great one. We'll definitely cover that in a future episode. Now, can you see my wheel now, mate?
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. You ready? Here we go.
I mean, I gotta be. Did I do that song last time? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, Stranger.
Stranger Things. Oh man,
nice,
tricky. I mean, it's tricky. Mostly because one of the best mods of all time has already been done on Stranger Things. Came second in Mod of the Year last year, of course. It's the amazing Medicinal Mods who produced a full mod kit for Stranger Things. I'm going to have to get better at pulling up images for these things. Maybe Pinside would be that. Oh, yeah, hang on, that's not going to work, is it? Okay. Yeah. So what we need. We're
just gonna have to have all the games in existence on speed dial.
Yeah, exactly. We will, but we'll get better at it.
Man, this game is definitely on my list to own. It's grown on me so much, and of course they just came back out with it again, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is.
I know
very,
it's been
very
super
awesome,
popular. Yeah, and
go on.
Someone, there's a comment. Medicinal mods doesn't really touch the bottom third of the playfield. Target something there. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great stuff for this one. I mean, one thing that comes to mind, which I know some people have done on some topper stuff, is like the Christmas lights, which is a big thing in it.
Even like the letters or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to have like a little miniature version of that. I don't know if there's a great place for that on the lower side of the playfield, but
let me see if I can pull up some other pictures of the lower part of the playfield while you're looking at that. I mean, the obvious one for me, and we're actually trying to do this on a couple of games at the moment, is I mean, you know those post lights that we did for Godzilla, which is part of the LOL UFO mod. So they're just little RGB post lights. We're trying to sort of incorporate those into various games. And Stranger Things was one of those ones that we were going to do. The complication that we've got with a lot of the modern Sterns is that most of them don't use star posts anymore. And the post lights we've designed, you know, they're the full sort of circumference of a star post, and then star posts have a little recess within them where the LEDs can sit, so the lights shine up and reflect off the star and create this really great effect. But most of the new Sterns use those, you know, much thinner posts, and I don't quite know why that is. You know, it might be. I think sometimes when some people have changed those mini posts to star posts, it can actually change the angles of the game. If you've got like U-turn shots that only just narrowly miss the slings and go back onto the flipper, you know, by just changing it that few mil, it can end up hitting the sling and changing the whole dynamic of the game. So you do have to be a bit careful with just, you know, outright changing those mini posts to stars. So I've been trying to look at new solutions for that. You know, more minuscule post lights that can sit underneath those mini posts. So that's one that I'd be thinking about doing in Stranger Things. In sort of this, you know, in this section down here, you can see that they are the mini posts there. So
can you zoom in on that a little bit?
I can try. How do you? I don't know how to zoom in on a Mac, bro.
Command plus, command minus.
No, hang on. Hang on. Zoom in. There we go. Got it.
It reminds me of like it reminds me of Guns N' Roses and Wonka. Those star posts digging into my playfield. Maybe they got rid of them for that reason.
I don't know. I mean, maybe they just feel a bit dated as well. You know, they are quite
could be
old.
That.
Sort of thing. I think so. Medicinal did. I think one of his. I think he's got like a canister or something that has like maybe a laser shooting out. I think that sits there, so that bit's done. You know, you could always do something with the sling plastics themselves, but you are replacing art. You know, existing art. You know, whether people sort of take issue with that or not, I'm not sure. I mean, nothing's massively standing out at the moment. I mean, Medicinal changed the backboard as well, I think. So, you know, so that bit's off limits. Yeah, I mean, I think doing something with the letters could be quite cool. And if you were going to focus on the lower part of the playfield, I'd be sticking it on the slings, I think, or the
how like. I mean, okay, so I can't remember what the phrase was. What was the phrase that was on the wall? Or I guess it was the alphabet. That's right. I mean, just as a case in point, like, how tiny can you get with like those LEDs like manipulating? Could you put like half the alphabet on the left hand side sling and half the alphabet on the right hand side?
Yeah, for sure. You mean to actually use the LEDs like a mini screen or just as a light source?
I was thinking of it as a light source. So basically, you could design like a PCB, which is like a computer board with embedded LEDs, and you could do like, you know, 13 on one side and 13 on the other, and you could basically like light up the letters like Christmas style.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking as well, it might even be better on these return plastics, because then you could sort of put them in a row. And it's at slightly sort of odd angles, like they were in the show. And you could light them up, maybe even tie them into inlane triggers, so they sort of do something. So anytime the ball goes down the inlane, they sort of do an animation, following the ball down the lane. That could be quite cool.
I mean, is there enough room to like put a PCB under a custom plastic in your mind?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely an LED PCB, which essentially is just the PCB, the LEDs on top, and then some kind of connector. That's really all you need. And then that connector then has wires that then feed through the playfield, and then you put all your processing and stuff underneath. It's the way I do it for those ones.
I'm surprised we haven't seen any manufacturers do that, where putting a PCB, because like, so if you guys don't know what we're talking about, like if you have ever owned say like Attack from Mars, the original, and you lift that bad boy up, you see all these lights mounted in all the different inserts. Well, if you own the Chicago Gaming one, there's literally a board that's like this big. There's just all those lights are just on it, right? And it's there. And what I'm thinking is like somebody just bring that concept to layer up, in the game. I guess they're kind of doing it like in say Godzilla's, scoop board, right? It's kind of like that way, but it's vertical, but you don't really ever see it like horizontal with the playfield.
Yeah, well, it is interesting, isn't it? Because I mean, Lebowski as well. Have you pulled the back glass off Lebowski yet?
Yeah, it's heavy.
It does. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's really heavy. Yeah, I mean, reassuringly heavy.
Yes.
But so the processor is in the back box, isn't it? So the CPU and the guts of the game is in the back box. That's where the game code is. I put the sound mod in Lebowski, which is awesome. Anybody who's got Lebowski, get the sound mod. It's freaking amazing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it just takes the game to a whole new level, even though the game's awesome anyway. But anyway, but you lift the playfield up, and it's the same thing with Lebowski, right? Like, there's these massive PCBs taking up the entirety of the under playfield, and I mean, I think this is kind of the way that these things are going, right? It is slightly disconcerting from a replacement point of view. If you have an LED that goes on one of those big PCBs, what do you do? Most people don't know how to surface mount solder. Most people probably wouldn't even know how to change through-hole components. But changing out an LED bulb in a socket, that's a fairly easy thing to do. So it does introduce a level of repairability concerns, I think, when you do sort of make these all-in-one boards that do all the
but I mean,
stuff.
That's never going to change. Like, that's the new world order. I mean,
it is
the same thing with cars,
right.
I certainly am very adventurous, but I would never touch anything like
that. Yeah. Well, look, I mean, I've been doing loads of it, and I can do it now. But even, I mean, when you're surface mount soldering a component that's like, 2 mil by 2 mil, like, I don't care how good you are, like, making that a tidy job is incredibly, incredibly difficult. So,
well, I don't know if we've done too much service to Stranger Things, because it's already pretty heavily modded. But Vinny has challenged us to think below the fold on Stranger Things. So I like that. I like that a lot.
Thanks, Vinny.
Yeah, thank you. So we're going to move on to our next segment. We did this last time on episode 1. It's a mod world. We've got a couple of mods that we're going to cover. And Davey, do you want to start, or do you want me to jump in?
You jump in, man.
Okay.
I think we're going to take a look at... we're going to do some more Dutch pinball stuff.
Yeah. So, major announcement in the pinball world. We've got the latest from Lior, the Art of Pinball. Marshall at Little Shop of Games bringing us the Dutch Pinball, the Big Lebowski official sculpted toilet scoop. This thing is pretty awesome. I mean, if you don't know about the Lebowski pinball machine, like its theme integration is on point. If you've even seen the movie once, you're going to recognize things over and over and again. And this is clearly like a missing thing in the game, but also it's pretty awesome because it's like filling a major blank area in the game. So this is not necessarily the best shot, but right above the scoop, which is in the middle of the play field, you've got man, that fan on your Foo Fighters is
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. Intense.
future
I got
segment.
an idea, Dave. Did you see the idea? Did you see the idea I had? I want you to change that fan on the show.
Yeah, live on air, so everyone can see.
I mean, riveting content. Riveting content. So this sits right up here. This thing is I feel like it's a great price. I mean, I'm not gonna talk too much about the pricing from Art of Pinball. Like, some of the stuff is pretty up there, and I know a lot of it has to do with like how much painting is involved. But considering what this is, considering the amount of paint, the fact the toilet bowl looks executed amazingly, like that light. I think this seems like a great deal. I was a little concerned about it breaking, to be honest. But I know Alec, who my partner at the Electric Playground, reached out to Lior and asked him about it, and he not only was very confident in it, but also said something about some kind of like replacement warranty or whatever. Like, I know he goes out of his way to make sure this stuff is covered. So yeah, I'm a big fan. I mean, I'm excited to see it in person, and I might end up just picking it up on a whim too.
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, I mean, it's I think if you're a Lebowski fan, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? And I think the point you made about it sort of filling up an empty area of the playfield was quite key. I mean, at the end of the day, it is a toilet, so it's not going to be for everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think in terms of execution, I mean, all of Lior's stuff, you can't fault the skill level in the quality of the finish that goes into it. They just do absolutely beautiful sculpting work, and this is no exception, really.
Well, one of the more popular mods for this game is a joint. So I think if you're okay with the joint, you're probably going to be okay with the toilet.
Yeah, totally.
It's cool because so when I got my Lebowski, there's the one guy, and I can't remember his handle, but he's got a ton of stuff, right? He's got like the Hollywood sign and the joints and some stickers, but it didn't seem like really anybody else was doing anything for the Big Lebowski. So it's cool to see, and this is official, right? Like, this is like a partnership that he did. Yeah.
Totally. So, and possibly that's why the price point is where it is. Volume, potentially. Volume. That was probably the deal that they struck, was that it was going to be at a more affordable price point, and that's great. That's really great, because I've often wondered. I always think when it comes to pricing, if you sort of put yourself too high, it's very difficult to come down. It's easier to go the other way, because you can always, it's always, materials or whatever it is, but to bring your price down is a lot more difficult. But this is a great way to do it, forming a partnership, having volume, bringing the price down, making it more affordable. So yeah, I think it's been a really great partnership for both of them, and awesome to see Dutch, making these connections with, these pivotal people in the mod scene, and getting this great stuff out there. It shows a lot of promise, I think, from them, and it shows them, being really aware of the community and putting a lot back in. So yeah, I'm stoked.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll be curious to see. I doubt this happens, but like, will we ever reach the point where like some of these mod partnerships turn into like you can actually buy the machine with that stuff in there, from the factory? That might be, kind of cool. Just to be
Well, I mean, interesting you say that because, I mean, essentially that's what happened with Scooby-Doo, right?
I don't know that story. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so, oh God, I'm not going to be able to remember the guy's name now that I brought it up. But, oh God, so yeah, I'm not going to be able to, I can't remember it now. But anyway, so the Scooby that pops out of the barrel and the gargoyle monster or whatever it is that's standing on the side of the car. Somebody's going to flame me on that and say it's on. But and then the castle facade itself was all done by a guy who he's quite renowned in the pinball modding scene. I can't Back Alley Mods. There you go. It's done by Back Alley, and then Back Alley also did the apron. That you can buy aftermarket. So,
and I've seen that. That's pretty cool. Yep.
Yeah. That is very cool. And he's also done like a Shaggy character that you can add afterwards and stuff. So probably what they did was they contracted all of this stuff originally, and then due to financial decisions, had to pull stuff out. In order to release the game or whatever, and then Back Alley then go, okay, well, I'll just sell them as third-party add-ons afterwards. So essentially that's, I guess, the relationship that Spooky formed with Back Alley, by pulling these majors into the fold.
You can order that stuff like in your build and have it part of it.
I don't think so, no.
Oh, okay.
And no, you can't. And I can understand why. I mean, that would just introduce a whole bunch of other complexities, into the build process, too many, and more room for things to go wrong. I mean, I know Spooky already sort of offer the butter cabs and things like that. I mean, having those options in the build, just, it's like, it's an exponential difficulty thing,
Yeah, and some people have... And then if people cancel the order or whatever, then it creates a challenge.
Yeah. How do you?
Okay, fine. Bad idea. Whatever. All right. Moving on. What do you got for us, Davey?
Oh, okay, cool. Righto. So this is. I wonder if I can. Can you still see that if I do that?
I see a pin side post. Yep.
Yeah, and okay, cool. So I've just dragged it to a new. Yeah, all good. Okay, so so these guys, TPMF, mod makers, they've sort of been working a lot on Alien up until this point, doing a bunch of cool mods on Alien. I met up with these guys, Peter and Carol at Expo. Lovely guys. We had a big chat about. Mod interaction and LED lighting and those kind of things. And they mentioned that they were working on this thing. So I just wanted to do a quick shout out. They announced it earlier this week. Late last week. And it's the Gappa Angry mod. So are you familiar with Elvira, Rob? Because I'm not.
Not on this level. Everything I know about it's kind of through the game itself.
Yeah. So I think Gappa, or Gappa being angry, is one of the modes in House of Horrors, the latest Elvira pinball game. And Gappa is the character. I don't know how he sort of relates to the overall Elvira lore, but there he is. And the interesting thing about this is that Carol's daughter. She was. I had a call with them recently, and she was on the call as well. She's the one that did the sculpting work for this. So really awesome work from her. Awesome that her work's going to reach this larger audience. Can't wait to see more of it. There's not been really much revealed on it. I'm going to provide the boards for it and do the lighting. I sent them a little kit earlier this week. So hopefully once they receive that and integrate it into the build, we should be seeing more of it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Have you done anything for Elvira at all so far with your boards, or?
No, but but I'm hoping to get a blood red. But there's only.
Why would you want that?
Yeah, I mean it's I love super ugly pins.
It's so ugly.
Least
so
attractive. Yeah, I mean,
no,
it's
beautiful.
I had absolutely no designs on an Elvira until going to the Stern factory at Expo and seeing it in the flesh. And yeah, it's something else, man. It is something else.
So I'm curious about the shooter rod because
oh yeah,
the one that came with the SLE or the 40th or whatever, the super expensive one that they came out with before this, like it was kind of a piece of crap, in my opinion. Did you see it? Did you like it?
Yeah.
Did you feel it?
No. Yeah, shit. Yeah, no.
You're like, I don't care, man. It's beautiful.
Like that would be the first thing I'd change on that.
Okay.
Game. Would,
enough said. Enough said.
Pull it out and put a normal shooter rod back in. I'm not a massive fan of fancy shooted rods anyway. You know,
no, it needs to come off my fingers smoothly. Like I don't want it to get cut by the shooter rod.
No, man. It's for me. It's just like, you know, there's this tactile element of pinball that is pulling back the shoot. I don't even like buttons that much, you know, like auto shooters like Attack from Mars. They're fine, but it's not my thing. I like a traditional pull back the plunger, shoot the pinball into play. That's what I like. And so anybody that kind of messes that by sticking like, and I'm going to get shot here, but Dave Grohl's head, you know, on a Foo Fighters one or anything, any type of fancy shooter rod, I'm not really into.
What I would say is just like be mindful of it coming smoothly off your fingers, you know, because I mean, like, depending on the situation, you actually need that level of just like feeling because you're not looking at the meter so much, especially whenever you're just going through the flow.
Yeah, and that's probably where John's one, his Bond shooter that we covered during the last show, that's probably where his is kind of great because it essentially is just a traditional shooter in a lot of ways, just a slightly different dimension of it. You know, it's still got the tapering, you know, to allow you to grip it properly. So it still performs the same function as a normal shooter. But yeah, it's like, I guess the Labyrinth one as well is another prime example. It's like this weird, like, you know, can you imagine, like, gripping that, whatever it is, monster, what are they, nibblers? And then, like, yeah, not for me, man.
Yeah, So what else you got for us? I think you've got a few for us today, right?
Yeah. So we're gonna quickly move on. This is one that's been out for a little while. Can you see my screen? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And play that video because I think this one.
Cool. Which one should I play? The second one, maybe.
The second one is installation. Maybe the first one I think is the promo. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Let's go back then.
And this is CRCades, which I only know from one Bond mod. Has he been doing? I guess he's doing stuff for multiple. Huh?
Yeah, he's doing heaps. I mean, he sort of just popped up. You know, maybe a little while ago. I'll see if I can cut the sound. He popped up a little while ago, and just started dropping these amazing mods. Really, so he's obviously sort of come from an industry where, you know, he's obviously, you know, been honing his 3D design skills, and you know he's got good painting skills, he's got electronic skills, so yeah, it's you know, really great to see, you know, somebody essentially just coming out of nowhere and just dropping these bombs. He sort of initially ran foul a little bit with his price points. His early sort of Bond tank was sort of a little bit too expensive.
Yeah, I mean, if he's new to the pinball space, I could see how he would be looking at what's going on and think like, hey, like there's an appetite for this price point. And I know it was really well done. And I don't think
he ended up in question at all
addressing it. Can you hit one of those photos, or maybe that center one? So for me on this mod, I like it because I think this feature kind of just did not really execute that well, especially for it being like such a central thing. Like it's like one, like the whole concept of you pushing him back into something, I don't even think is that well communicated, and this definitely I think helps a little bit. Yeah. So I like it for that reason.
So people who people who don't know Venom, Venom's a fan layout game, so all the shots are towards the rear of the game. This is what's his name? I don't know. He's one of the
it's I don't know. I don't know. Is it the Carnage? No, I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. Carnage. Yeah, it is. Yeah, there is a lot of them. And so Carnage is one of these shots in the back fan of the game. He's on sort of like a runner, isn't he? And you hit him a number of times. It might even be a Newton ball shot or something like that. And you sort of push him back into the Ravencroft Institute, which is, again, this scientific research laboratory or whatever where, and Venom fans probably know more than I do, but I imagine is where the original Venom serum came from. So yeah, I think what Chris has done really well here is that he's matched the original designs from the Ravencroft Institute really closely. So he sort of posted pictures of I don't know whether we'll be able to get it here. I think it's in his thread, so we won't be able to get it, but he's taken sort of comic book art and recreated it almost precisely. So he does all his 3D printing himself.
Can you flip through a couple more of those?
Yep. Yeah. So he does all his 3D printing himself. One of the interesting things about this is, so you can see here screw holes, right? But on the actual mod, there are none. So he's done these really interesting things where these bits here, I think those bits, are essentially caps that cover all the screw holes.
Nice.
So he's sort of put a lot of thought into it. Nobody likes seeing exposed screws, so when you can hide them like this, it shows a lot of thought and consideration for the process. Other really interesting things to note is that the lanterns have flickering LEDs. I think he's sort of done an airbrush type effect over the gates and stuff. I think he's done a good job of it. I think he probably learned a bit from his Foo Fighters van, which was another one that he did. I think that was massively labour intensive, particularly with how all the wiring to the headlights, the different processes that were involved. And so I think he has simplified things for this one, and good, because I think when you do have a hit as well, then you need to be able to get these things out without it taking over your life. So if you can have a really good execution but have a process that's manageable, then so much the better.
Yeah, what's the price point on this one? Do you know?
$299 for this one. Yeah. Okay. So I think his Foo van was coming in at maybe $700 for the major one. And I think there was a lesser price point version as well, maybe in the high fives. So yeah, I think this is a much better price point for him. I think he'd do well to sort of keep stuff around this level, and yeah, I hope he does well out of it.
Yeah, very cool.
Okay, I got one more. Do you want to see one more?
All right, let's see it.
Yeah. Okay. So
you're in tune with the mod space, man. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. If you guys have mods that you want us to cover, also make sure you let us know one way or another. We'd love to give that a shot.
Yeah. Either from mod makers themselves or from people who are just mod fans. Yeah, just send them in. I mean, I try and sort of keep up to date with all of the mods that are coming out, but there's always some that slip through the radar, particularly if they're not on Pinside. There's a bunch of Facebook groups that I don't always frequent, and so you do end up missing stuff. So if there is some amazing stuff out there that you've seen, and including homebrews as well, if there's amazing homebrew projects going on, I'm not as and you probably also, Rob, aren't as down with the homebrew scene as what we'd probably like. So if there's any homebrew stuff going on, please let us know and we'll try and cover it.
Speaking of homebrew, Don I think does his homebrew mods. I don't know about this drumstick mod. I've got a drumstick. I got a drumstick on a necklace that my daughter gave me. It's hilarious. It's probably the same one.
I think it's the same one though. Yeah. Anyway, let's get back onto the point. So yeah, Swinks, man. Okay, so Swinks is like a heavyweight in the mod world. He's been around a lot longer than me. He's done some incredible mods that kind of paved the way for the modern mod scene. Do you know the snack bar mod for Creature from the Black Lagoon, Rob?
Yes. Yep.
Yes, that's Swinks. He's an Aussie guy.
Oh, okay. All right.
So one of my brothers. And yeah, so he did the snack bar mod. It was incredibly successful. He's still doing them, but it was just like a pivotal sort of mod in the modding scene. Pretty much if you see a creature without the Swinks snack bar, then that's rarer than seeing one with the snack
bar. Yeah.
So yeah, he's got a Ghostbuster. Been doing a lot of mods for Ghostbusters. This is the latest one he's done. It's the firehouse that's modelled on the it's meant to be sort of a replica of the firehouse. It's in New York, isn't it? This one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can actually go and visit this thing in New York, and it's still set up to look just like it did in Ghostbusters. But yeah, so yeah, Swinks has done this one. There's a sort of lantern alerty type, I can't think of what siren that goes at the top here that he's tied in with the GI, I think. The mod itself lights up. You can see through the lights through the windows here.
Did he do the library too, or was that somebody else?
This one here. Oh no, that's
I guess is that the library on the far left there? That's that other big building?
No, that's somebody else. That's Wolf Cub, I think. Yeah, Wolf Cub did the library. This is in the same location. And I've been following Wolf Cub's thread recently. He's kind of dropped off the radar a bit. I don't know why. But yeah, it's in the same location, but it's meant to be the Ghostbusters HQ run, the library.
Yeah.
The other interesting thing about this one is that he's got like different options for. So the spinner is the shot that sort of goes up on the on the right hand side of the building here, and he's got different options for the mod over the top of the spinner here. So this, I think, is like some kind of siren alert thing, a bit like a police siren. But he's also got like Ghostbusters sign and a couple of other bits and pieces. So yeah, I hope he does really well with it. He's got a bunch of other mods as well that he's done for Ghostbusters. He's got sort of this flat iron building that goes more towards the center, and then also this cloud mod that goes towards the back that replaces, I think it's like a ghost trap or something that weirdly is like in the middle of the sky. So so he's doing some great work for Ghostbusters. Seeing a lot of great traction for this particular one. So yeah, give him your support. Go and get on his thread and tell him he's awesome.
I love that. Yeah, that. I just want to see one. Can you go back to the picture with the lights coming through the window? So it has lights on the inside. Yeah.
This one here. Yeah.
Yeah, that really looks great. I mean, I love that big building. I guess that is the library there on the left, right?
Hang on. I'm just trying to. I can't work out my Zoom. I'm going to work it out later. This thing here, is it? You're talking about this thing?
No, what's the building in the front, or is that the Civic Center or something? The purple one, the front left.
This one. Sorry. Yeah, the library. I think that's the Swinks one as well. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay, cool. That's a beautifully done. I know that one in particular, like the paint on it, and I assume it's 3D printed. It doesn't really look that way.
It is, yeah. So he uses PA12 nylon-based professional printing. And the benefit of that is that you don't really see the print lines, so he gets them in sort of grey, and then he dyes them himself. So it's not even painting. I think he dyes them that colour, and then sort of applies decals and bits and pieces. So yeah, he's sort of got he always uses professional 3D printing. The quality of his stuff is always like on point. So I'm always, you get it in and you can tell that he's just put a lot of thought into the construction, the way it's designed. The snack bar, for instance, for Creature, it's all magnetized, so everything sort of, slots together and then magnetizes into place, and then it's just very, very cleverly done.
Nice.
And all of his mods are like that. Yeah.
All right, guys. So that does it for episode 2. What do we got on deck for next time, 2 weeks from now?
Oh, well, I think you're going on a little bit of a pinball visit, Jolly,
right.
Aren't you,
Right.
mate? So where are you going?
So, so Cincinnati. It's in Cincinnati. which is, I guess it's about a 5-hour drive for me, but looking forward to that one. I think this is a pretty regular show. I've not been to it myself, but it's December 1st to 3rd. We're going to be there. We're actually sharing a booth with Mad Pinball, which is a distributor in Ohio. Good buddies of ours. They are bringing Godzilla and Twilight Zone for us, so that's always nice.
Awesome.
To not have to trek those bad boys across the state. But so that is on Friday through Sunday, and then we're going to be doing our show, I guess, the very next day, which is our next show.
Yeah. So if you look a bit tired, I'll know why. It was too many bourbons with the Mad Amusements guys. Yeah.
I'll be all amped up on pinball, so I'll be ready to talk for sure. So we'll be covering more mods, I'm sure, right? So if you guys have ideas, let us know. I don't know if we have any major segments planned, but I'm sure we'll figure something out.
We'll do another mod that game segment. That was fun. We'll do that again.
That was.
We'll do it again.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your ideas. I think we came up with some cool stuff. Obviously, not rushing to get those done yet, but I think I saw two things I like. So hopefully, Dave, you took some notes along the way. Happy Monday. No. You can rewatch it. This is on YouTube and Twitch. Tell your friends to check it out. Please subscribe. We love seeing those numbers go up. Happy Monday. Davey, thank you so much. Have a great night, man.
Thank you. All right, you too, buddy.
Good night,
Take care.